Welcome to shul.com. We are doing our 7-minute Shabbat class. Mark, I need you to put on the timer for 7 minutes so that we don't.
I'm not looking at someone else.
Okay, so we gotta get the timer. Get the timer and show it. Put it in front of me so we know that we don't go over 7 minutes. Okay.
7 minutes.
7:21.
Yeah.
7 minutes.
All right.
But let me see the time as we're doing it. Okay, put it right there. Perfect. All right, so we're getting started. We're learning Lord of Shabbat, Rabbi Nachson. And we began last week, the other day, we spoke about saying the Hilchot Shabbat Kodesh and having good kavanot. Let's go quickly into the next thing. Let's say a guy has to go shopping early on Friday, and he realized he didn't pray yet. He woke up. What does he do? If he knows that he can go after an hour, then you just go pray, you go through your normal routine. But if he knows, listen, I live in Surfside, there's only one bakery. If I'm not going to go pick up bread, you're out. Then say Shema, B'kot HaShachar, Shema. Make sure you still have time to pray Tefillah. You go get what you need to go, and then you go pray. But that's only... No, Shema, you'll just do Shema regular without Tefillin. You'll go shopping and then come right back. That's as he brings in the book, Rabbi Nachson. But very important, that's only the situation where you know for sure it's not going to be there. If you know if you're going to go to another place, then you're all set. You cannot do that. That's only in that case. Next thing, when we're preparing, you say the Hilchot Shabbat Kodesh as we do. Now it says, it's brought down in the Sfarim, that if a person sweats in order to prepare for Shabbat, cleaning, setting things up, Hashem takes that sweat and he wipes away all the sins of the week. So if a guy wants to get cleaned up every week, you just do it like that. Interestingly enough, how else can you get forgiven?
I live in Florida to get sweaty.
How else can you get forgiven? Is that some of the Chachamim, including Rabbi Mansour, does in New York, is every Friday they do Hatarat Nedarim. I'm going to ask Rabbi Mansour, maybe we'll do it here. We print out one little page. It's like a miniature version of a short form of the Hatarat Nedarim. You do it. Any kilalot, any nedarim, any promises in 3 minutes. You put 3 guys down, you do it quickly, they go home, and you clean. You clean, you get rid of all any promises you told someone, I don't know, you told them you're going to do something, and didn't do it, whatever, you clean it all up. But why do you have to keep it stuck onto you? Next thing, one must personally honor the Shabbat by buying food they like we said last week, and the other day. Next thing, let's say somebody learns Torah all day, he has to stop what he's learning and go do something like Hilchot Shabbat. Because the Gemara mentions many of the Tanaim and Amoraim who would spend, they were the biggest of the teachers of Torah, and they went out of their time, and they got, what's the message of the Gemara? Not to just tell us that he went to go fishing, or to go, prepare wood for Shabbat or the fire. It's to tell you, if they did it, you should be doing it too. I don't care, your stature is nowhere near how they were. And some of those rabbis, Rabbi Elazar ben Harsom, Rabbi Hista, and many, Rabbi Matya ben Hanash ben Omi, they were uber rich. They're not like they're wealthier today. They owned 1,000 ships, one of the rabbis, 1,000 islands. You're talking about a wealth that doesn't even exist today. At least we don't know about it. So they would go from their time and go spend for the honor of Shabbat. It's very important. Next thing, if a guy knows that he gets tired on Erev Shabbat, what do? You take a short nap. Very important. Take a half an hour nap if you know you're going to get tired. Why do you get tired on Friday night? So it's brought down in the Sfarim that you get another Nefesh Yetera on Shabbat. What happens? The Nefesh Yetera comes Friday night and it leaves Motzei Shabbat at Havdalah. The problem is it's in an olam that's light years away. So what happens on Friday night? The whole week you're tired, you're coming after work. Suddenly, boom, the Neshama comes on Friday night to you. The guy suddenly gets super tired, doesn't know what to do. Why? Because the Neshama just went on a long distance trek. And by the time it got from where it was, the light years away from the olamot into the person, boom, he suddenly gets tired. It went on a long trip. And it's hungry too. Didn't eat the whole week. And suddenly you get hungry on Shabbat. That's another reason why the person's. Now, next thing, on Erev Shabbat, it's important to do Teshuvah, like we said, and do Hatarat Nedarim. Now, this is why we're going to spend another 2 minutes on. On Erev Shabbat, the Satan is at his peak. He's looking to help and make sure that there's a fight in your house on Friday night or on Shabbat. It's not a good thing, but what does he do? He has a lot of time in his hands. Why is the Satan so free with his time on Friday? Very simple. The Gehinam closes on Shabbat. It closes from Friday night until Saturday night. It starts to open between Mincha and Arvit of Shabbat. That's why they say don't drink water during that time, because that's the last amount of water that they allow them in Gehinam, whatever that means, because it's physical, it's metaphysical, what does that mean? But they say don't drink water during that time. It's brought down by many of the Mikubalim. But you can eat Seudah Shlishit, but don't drink. Once you finish Seudah Shlishit, you don't have any water. Now, why is the Satan so free on right before Shabbat, Erev Shabbat? Why? Because I told you Gehinam is closed. But they don't close Gehinam right away. They close it around Hatzot on Friday. So around 12, 1 o'clock, he starts to have free time on his hands. The whole week he's sitting in Gehinam, he's pronging people with his pitchfork. The Satan, he keeps himself busy in Gehinam. The problem is, now Friday afternoon, they start to shut down the engines, they start to close the ovens. Anyone who kept Shabbat in this world, they don't burn them in Gehinam over there. So what happens? He starts to have free time on his hands. So what does he do? He goes around to some house. He looks who can he get a customer in order to fight. And this is a big problem because it's brought down in the Sfarim that is a sigula for protection of the whole week if he doesn't fight on Friday. So a person has to be extra careful. It's not easy. I know I'm at home, Baruch Hashem, with the kids, showers, going, where's this, set up the table, do that, how come, where's my shirt, you didn't iron my suit, where's the cleaners? It goes nuts. That's a Satan. He's doing it on purpose. Because I assure you, if you even you're on a vacation or lived alone somewhere, he would figure out another way to annoy you on Friday. That's his job, and he knows it. But if you go into the Friday knowing he's doing that, you have the weapon already to answer him back. Now I want to show you two things from Sefer HaChasidim. Sefer HaChasidim brings down in Taf Samech Gimel, that is 863. What does he say? He says it's better to have a tov aruchat yerek b'Shabbat, have just salad on Shabbat, v'ahava Hashem in mishto, and be happy, than to go mishor evus v'sin'abo, than going out, spending a lot of money and fighting with your wife. Oh, I didn't want this, you want to do that. He said if having a simple meal and having to simplify your Shabbat would make shalom, it's very important to do. We have 1 minute left. I want to bring you a story from the Kaf HaChaim Palachi. Kaf HaChaim Palachi lived in Izmir, Turkey. Izmir, Turkey at the time was partially controlled with the Greek. They used to call it Smyrna. But if you go today, you don't call it Smyrna. If you call it Smyrna, they know that you're not thinking. Today they call it Izmir. Now, he gives a story. It's brought down in the Kaf HaChaim Palachi. Watch this. He says, Ve'anochi Abdo. He was Mosif on Devarav. He was adding on the More Be'etzba, on the Haidah, which was saying that you have to be careful on Friday about fighting at home with the family and everything. He says here, De'ani ha'gever ra'a enai. I saw my own self. De'bechol bayit shaya machloket be'erev Shabbat le'erev או בליל שבת היה בדוק מנוסה כי ראה נגד פניהם ולא יצאו מניקים באותו שבוע באיזה מקרה רע. He said, anytime I saw a place or a house that they fought on Friday or before Shabbat, some trouble came the next week. Unless they made a teshuvah, they had a trouble. And he goes, I saw this myself, my own eyes, in Izmir, Turkey. He says, Dok ותשכח, ומרגלה בפומד ולומר לבני ביתו בכל דבר מעמדם זכרונם מיוחד דצריך למנו בניחותא. Speak very nicely at home on Friday. We have 10 seconds left. ופעם אחת בליל שבת בשנת תש"א הייתי דר עם שכנים אחרים. שמעתי שהשכן היה עושה קטטה עם אשתו אחר קידוש על דבר מאחר. What happened? It was Friday night at home, and they were eating in the outer parts. What happened in the outer parts? He noticed that his neighbor was yelling at his wife. So he's on a Shabbat table, and he noticed his neighbor yelling with his wife. He got up next door, he went to the thing, and he sat down right on his neighbor's table with his neighbor and his wife while they were fighting. So look what happened. I got out from my table, and I sat on his table. I guess they ate outside in the courtyard at the time. They got super embarrassed and they got super taken back. Right away, they saw the rabbi, he's in the place, they made shalom right away. He said, this guy, after this event, he said, Rabbi, the rabbi left, he saw him in the street, you don't know how much good you did for me. He goes, he goes, years went by and I never fought with my wife on a Friday because of it. So what do we learn from this? You have to be extra careful. The Kaf HaChaim Palachi was telling you, look, he put himself on the line. Sometimes he saw that and he do it. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, amen v'amen.